If you want to get work in the government market, buyers will expect you to have a capabilities statement. So follow along with me in this video and get your capabilities statement done today. This is FedAccess, and I help businesses grow with government contracting. A capability statement is a must when trying to sell in the federal market. Government buyers expect you to have one, and they expect it to contain certain information. So follow along with me. I'm going to walk you through the 9 key areas to include so you can create a successful, effective capability statement for your business. So what is a capability statement? It's simply a concise summary of your business targeted to government buyers and prime contractors. And it should be only one side of one page. Ideally, it's a living document. I recommend developing a master copy and then tailoring it for each individual agency, project, or proposal. Best practice is to save the document with your company's name in the file name, and when you distribute it, send it as a PDF document, not in Word or some other format, and be sure to make it available on your website. So let's walk through each section in turn. Start with the business name and company logo and include a company slogan or tagline if you have one. Then provide a short summary of your company emphasizing what your company has to offer the target audience. Next, list the services or products you offer as they relate to the specific needs of your target audience. I know from talking with some of you that some of you do a bunch of different things. Don't list everything you can do. Tailor your list to what your business can offer to this customer. And I recommend using bullet points. They make it easier to read. Next, explain what makes your business stand out from the rest. Why should the customer choose your company? What is it about your services or product that sets you apart from the competition? You could highlight expertise, software, or equipment. If you're going after a job and you know your competitors don't have your level of bonding and insurance, then highlight this. It sets you apart. Another thing that could make you stand out is your years of experience. If your company has been in business for a long time, definitely list that. If you have technical certifications and licenses, list those. If you have security clearances or maybe unique partnership agreements, list those. This section is important, so don't skip this step. Next, you want to list any federal small business certifications that your business has. These are things like 8A certification, woman-owned small business, HubZone, or service-disabled veteran-owned small business. And if you have relevant contract vehicles like GSA contracts, definitely list them. Next, it's important to list your NAICS codes. Remember that government agencies specify their contract opportunities using these codes. How many codes should you list? Well, remember that ideally the capability statement will be targeted for each potential customer. So I would not list 15 different codes. But also remember that the same work could be put out for bid under different codes. Different agencies, different contracting officers can and do use different codes for similar work. So I definitely recommend listing more than one code. List every code that could apply for the type of work that you're talking to the person about. So as a general rule, I would recommend listing 3 to 5, maybe 7 NAICS codes. Next, describe your past performance. List past customers for whom you've done similar work. These can be commercial or government clients, but either way, be sure to focus on specific experience that relates to the target project. Each reference should describe the type of work performed, and it's a good idea to list the size of the job and how long the job was, because this conveys a lot of information about your business's capacity, what size job you can handle. You may want to include the contact information for your references so that the buyer can easily contact them. If you haven't worked for the government before, list other jobs you and your employees have done previously. You definitely want to show that you have relevant experience. Now, some companies handle this section by showing the logos of their clients, and if your work lends itself to pictures, some companies show pictures of the work rather than writing all this information out. But however you handle it, Don't skip this section. You need to show buyers that you have the wherewithal to perform. Next, be sure to list your company's DUNS number and cage code. The reason for this is that a company has a cage code only if it's registered in SAM, the federal government's vendor database. So showing your cage code shows the buyer that you're properly registered to do business with the government. And finally, contact information. List a specific person's name and their direct telephone number and email address. Don't list a generic info number or email. And be sure to list a business email. Don't use your personal Gmail or Yahoo account. And finally, list your company website. In fact, you may want to include a hot link for direct access. Now that you've assembled all your information, the final step is to lay it out on one page in a way that is easily readable. I'm showing here a bunch of different examples of layouts. To find these and more, just Google capabilities statement and then click on images. There are lots of layout examples online. Pick one that's right for your company and for the information you want to present. If you have the skills, you can certainly do the layout yourself, or you can hire someone, perhaps on a site like Upwork, or actually there are capability statements available for purchase online, and they're reasonably priced. Whichever way you go, please make sure your capability statement is easily readable. That means no long paragraphs of text. Use bullets. Use white space. Use a font large enough to be easily read. Maybe you have great eyes, but your reader is probably my age, so make sure we can read it easily. If you've been following along with the video and making your capabilities statement, then congratulations, you're done. You now have a professional capabilities statement that will set you apart from the competition. Hey friends, I've posted links in the notes below to some of my other videos which go over some of the topics mentioned, like picking your NAICS code and registering in SAM. If you have any questions, post them below and I'll respond as quickly as possible. Thanks for watching. See you next time.